ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ॐ करुणावरुणालय पालय मां भवसागरदुःखविदूनहृदं रचयाखिलदर्शनतत्त्वविदं भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम्। समस्त ब्रह्म विद्या आचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः। ओम परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रुतिमात्रे नमः। श्री वेदव्यास वैशंपायने आज्ञवल्क्यादि शंकराचार्यवर्यादि गुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम अथ श्री कृष्ण यजुर्वेदांतर्गत तैत्तरीय उपनिषदः पारायणम्। The last one in the Bhruguvalli, the 10th mantra onwards, we will do with all devotion as every day the Parayanam, then we will enter into our 9th Anuvaka study. Om न कंचन वसतौ प्रत्याचक्षेत तद्व्रतं तस्मात् यया कया च विधया बह्वन्नं प्राप्नुयात् आराध्यस्मा अन्नमित्याचक्षते एतद्वै मुखतोऽन्नगं राद्धं मुखतोऽस्मा अन्नगं राध्यते एतद्वै मध्यतोऽन्नगं राद्धं मध्यतोऽस्मा अन्नगं राध्यते एतद्वा अन्ततोऽन्नगं राद्धं अन्ततोऽस्मा अन्नगं राध्यते य एवं वेद क्षेम इति वाचि योगक्षेम इति प्राणापानयोः कर्मेति हस्तयोः गतिरिति पादयोः विमुक्तिरिति पायौ इति मानुषे समाज्ञाः अथ दैवीः तृप्तिरिति वृष्टौ बलमिति विद्युते यश इति पशुषु ज्योतिरिति नक्षत्रेषु प्रजातिरमृतमानन्द इत्युपस्थे सर्वमित्याकाशे तत्प्रतिष्ठेत्युपासेत प्रतिष्ठावान् भवते तन्मय इत्युपासेत महान् भवते तन्मन इत्युपासेत मानवान् भवते तन्नम इत्युपासेत नम्यन्ते स्मै कामाः तद्ब्रह्मेत्युपासेत ब्रह्मवान् भवति तद्ब्रह्मणः परिमर इत्युपासेत पर्येण म्रियन्ते द्विषन्तः सपत्नाः पर्ये प्रिया भ्रातृव्याः स यश्चायं पुरुषे यश्चासावादित्ये स एकः स य एवं विद अस्माल्लोकात् प्रेत्य एतमन्नमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रम्य एतं प्राणमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रम्य एतं मनोमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रम्य एतं विज्ञानमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रम्य एतमानन्दमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रम्य इमान् लोकान् कामान्निकामरूप्यनुसञ्चरन् एतत् सामगायन्नास्ते हा वो अहमन्नमहमन्नमहमन्नम् अहमन्नादो अहमन्नादो अहमन्नादः अहग्गश्लोककृदहग्गश्लोककृदहग्गश्लोककृत् अहमस्मि प्रथमजारुदास्य पूर्वं देवेभ्यो अमृतस्य न भायि यो मा ददाति स इदेवमा वाह अहमन्नमन्नमदन्तमाद्मि अहं विश्वं भुवनमभ्यभवाम सुवर्णज्योतिः य एवं वेद इत्युपनिषद ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 ओम अथ श्री कृष्ण यजुर्वेदांतर्गत तैत्तिरीयारण्यकांतर्गत तैत्तिरीय शाखांतर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषद ओम यस्माज्जातं जगत् सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदं धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचीनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते अथ प्रथमा शिक्षा वल्ली प्रथमोऽनुवाकः शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतो तद्वक्तारमवतो अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ अष्टमोऽनुवाकः प्रणवोपासनमन्त्राः ॐ ओमिति ब्रह्म ओमितीदगं सर्वम् ओमित्येतदनुकृतिः स्म वा अप्यो श्रावयेत्याश्रावयन्ति ओमिति सामानि गायन्ते ओगं शोमिति शस्त्राणि शगंसन्ति ओमित्यध्वर्यो प्रतिगरं प्रतिगृणाति ओमिति ब्रह्मा प्रसौति ओमित्यग्निहोत्रमनुजानाति ओमिति ब्राह्मण प्रवक्षन्नाह ब्रह्मोपाप्नवानीति ब्रह्मैवोपाप्नोति ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. Salutations to the Lord, to the entire Brahma Vidya Acharyas, Guru Parampara. Salutations to the Taittiriya Upanishad Acharya Parampara. Salutations at most to our own Guru Parampara who are teaching us, guiding us. Now, with the study of last 1-2 years of our Upanishads, these 3-4 things must be very clear to us. First is, if you are wanting and if you are committed, we can be regular, we can be sincere. And if we don't want, we cannot be, we need not be, we will not be in fact. First thing learnt is this. Adjusting the entire life, we can, if we are interested, if we are committed, we can be regular, we can be sincere. Regularly sincere, sincerely regular. Not the regularly irregular and sincerely insincere. First thing is, if at all we are matured enough to catch it. And we can continue this or we can break out from this and then go back into the earlier worldliness. Still, that choice is always open. Second thing, if at all we were careful, we can observe is both the greatness, grandness, glory of this Upanishad Brahma Vidya. At the same time, it's a subtlety and sublimity. It is very great and it is very sublime also, subtle also. Glorious it is. It's a mukti giving Vidya. At the same time, it is very sublime, very subtle to catch. Second point, by now the Brahma Vidya's Mahima should be understood, accepted by us. If it has happened, good result it is of our effort of last 2 years. If not, we can continue. In fact, it should take us to a conviction that there is nothing greater, glorious than theoretically knowing the Brahma Vidya, experientially experiencing Brahma Tattva. This should be the outcome in our last few years of efforts of study of Shastra. If we are regular, sincere, and we are attending, in that we can see the tapana, the effort of every of the guru, every of the disciple, and along with them the great effort of Bhagavan Adi Shankara continuously through Bhashyam, how he is trying to equip us, empower us, inspire us, make us understand what is Brahma Vidya and why and how glorious it is Brahma Vidya and how to realize that. At least 2-3% we must be clear by now. 100% won't happen overnight or in some time. Takes time. Third thing we have to definitely understand is the reason for the inconsistency in the remembrance of this Paramatma Tattva in the sadhana required to do, if at all, some of us at least, must know the inconsistency in us. Means what? How our mind is incapable of listening, understanding, holding, and fully making use of this opportunity of listening to this Brahma Vidya. We have to understand. So much we are struggling from last 2 years, and yet how much is the thing we understood, we remember, we are inspired, we are trying to practice. Kitna hua? Dekha to very minimum. It should inspire us now, therefore, or it should at least make us know that if we really want to mean business in spirituality, that is through the understanding of Upanishads, through the practice of sadhana told in the Upanishad, if we want to know the truth, realize the self, and get liberated once for all permanently, the most important thing is our own inner equipments, we have to balance them. We have to make them fully qualified and equipped for the Adhyatmika, Shravanam, Avagahana, Dhyana Sadhana, and Anubhuti. We have to feel either continue like this with a vagueness as many years as possible, listen but nothing understood, never begun the practice, nowhere near experience. Continue like this. The second option is what? Nothing is happening to me, let me leave this path, go back into the worldliness. Like many people are there already, and some of us have left also. Some are leaving. Everybody can think like that and go. These are the two. And then the third option is what? Now I understood my antakarana necessarily has to be qualified or prepared for the deeper understanding of Upanishadic Brahma Vidya and consistency in the inspiration and doing the sadhana as much as possible every day so that in this very life I experience the truth. This is the third option there. Continue as now, or go back to the earlier world, or feel the need of fully preparing our antakarana for more thorough understanding of whatever we are going to study from now onwards, along with the practice of it, sadhana of it, till the experience dawns for us. Third option. Now, if this is understood, if this is accepted, then the inquiry begins as to where are we going wrong or where we have to do the right for making our these equipments qualified. For the consistent listening memory of Brahma Vidya, which alone will inspire us to do the required sadhana day in and day out, which is necessary till we experience the truth. We have to observe where are we going wrong. Then we will understand very clearly ki it's all in the mind, the unprepared mind. Why the unprepared mind? Because the mind is never held by us, never protected by us, never understood its greatness, preciousness, and its importance. Either the mind itself is sent out or the world is allowed to enter through the senses, and thus consistently the mind is in the rajaguna of the flutterings of the thoughts or tamoguna of some indulgences or exhaustion or tiredness. We have to recognize where we are going wrong, where we have to set right, what is to be done. Both, all those agitating, disturbing aspects of the mind, all those things because of the which the energies, the concentrations of the mind are going away, because of which our this most precious, glorious Guru Bhagavat Kripa of Upanishad Adhyanam is not becoming effective. We have to recognize it. What are those things? Then we have to come out of that. We have to reduce them. We have to drop them. This is the tapasya everybody need to do. Not only you, me also. The other side is what? How to divinize, how to charge, how to make the intellect subtle, how to make it single pointed. The positive sadhanas. Positive sadhanas of whether you call it as upasanas, whether you call it as puja, whether you call it japadi sadhana, guru upasana. Yes, sir. Unless the avoidable things are avoided, unless the doable things are done, the equipments of ours, the inner equipment mainly of the Manabuddhi, will not be that much subtle enough, sharp enough, purified enough to grasp this Brahma Vidya, to retain this Brahma Vidya, to get inspired from this knowledge that I must reach out the goal in this very life. And after all, that only the sadhana happens. The sadhana of again and again doing study, mananam, chintanam, sadhana of hours together sitting on the seat of dhyanam. Unless these are done, we can't transcend the upadhis. We can't translate the theoretical knowledge into experience. Where that Brahma Tattva, which is explained in all Upanishads, is my own self. Without that happening, we will continue to be a jiva bound by the upadhi, suffering in this world like anyone and everyone. So, these are the 5, 6 things. If we are becoming aware, that means our Upanishadic Shravanam is becoming effective. On the other hand, if it is mechanically regular and sincere, and choicefully irregular and insincere, still the gratitude to the Rishi, Muni, and Gurus is not developed. Still the reference and respect to the Upanishad has not come. Till the sincerity within myself that these blessings I have to use for my own evolution. If these things are not happening, means what? We are still childish. Remember always, the blessings bring us up to this. Using these blessings and deserving for further blessings is in our hands. Definitely in our hands. That I have to feel to myself. Everyone will have to feel for themselves. For whatever the punyam in this life, these opportunities coming. Is it enough? Is this opportunity making me know the truth and get liberated? No, we have to do lot of things from our side. First, respect, revere the Shastras. Then extend the gratitude to the Rishi Muni Guru Parampara who brought this up to us. Then reciprocate what they have done by being sincere and true to our spiritual goal and means. Then become more and more clear about the goal, more and more clear about the means. And to walk on the means to reach the goal, how I have to prepare myself. It's a 24 hours attention. All the time I have to be attentive about my antakarana. How is it becoming bahirmukha? How is it getting agitated? how it is becoming tamasic, therefore, how it is becoming ineffective in making the best use of what we are given, the blessings of the Shastra Adhyanam Ityad, all the time. Then that struggle in me, why I am so like that? Why will not I change? How to change myself? Remembering all the rishis, munis of the past, how much struggle they have done, how much tyagas they have done, sacrifice of comforts and nidras, etc. How much tyaga of the bhodana ityadi they have done, that they have become so bright, brilliant, sharp, subtle, calm, and quiet enough that the Guru Upadesha Brahma Vidya, they are patra to receive, they are able to receive it. That should be our inspiration. That should be our effort towards. If not, क्या होएगा? As if you are all waiting for me to stop classes. I understand it, and one day I stop all and you feel relaxed. जैसे एक सिनेमा या सीरियल हो गया, immediately back to the worldliness. It doesn't take to be worldly even a half minute. One day you leave all classes, the whole world will invite you, welcome you. Oh, gone. Your TVs, your cell phones, your friends, relatives, the family members, your neighbors, your variety of the obligations, the activities. अरे यार छोड़ो, चांस देके देखो, हजारों चीज ऐसे घसीट के ले जाएंगे हमको, like the lion or the tiger after catching, pouncing upon its prey, how it takes it away. Like that the world will take us away. It is our choice. It is in our hands whether we look at the path from where we came and go back, or wipe off the past from where we came and make a beautiful path ahead in the spiritual sadhana. It is in our hands. Be acutely conscious about this thing. We can now no more just be careless also, and more important is no more now we are going to have the krupa blessings of the guru enforcing us in enforcing on us the studies or sadhana. Everyone will leave us, like Hanumanji. Everyone will leave him, or he will have to leave him them all alone. He'll have to take off all alone. He'll have to go to in that unknown place, absolutely protecting himself every moment. All alone, he'll have to search out for his own goal, day in and day out. And all alone, while he is doing so, none but all the Rakshasas only are around, without allowing them to wake up, without fighting with them, negotiating through all that. He'll have to reach to his target all alone. The vision of Mother Sita. फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस आल्सो, एवरीवन, एवरी ट्रू सीरियस सीकर के जिंदगी में वो मोड़ टाइम आता है जहां भगवान भी गुरु भी सब छोड़ेंगे. मतलब यू हैव टू डू योर सेल्फ, यू हैव टू टेक अप. At the very same time, you need to depend on yourself. When you start depending on others, again the worldliness grows. Consciously, deliberately, you have to keep the people also away, needs also reduced, and then all alone, having faith in myself and having faith in the God and Guru, that for the time being they left me, allowing me to grow myself from within. Then they are again going to come and bless me. With this faith, what we have to do at that time, we have to do. Like the Mali, 24 घंटे is not with the Pauda. He will put it and he'll go, and that Pauda will have to work on itself and slowly grow. Is it not? It's not all the time there. In the same way, in our life also, either we choose or they are given. And in fact, they are the most golden moments if you use them, and they are most the frightening moments if you don't become aware of it. That loneliness either will make us negative into the worldliness or frustrated. But a positive person understands, this time to fully take my life into my hands and do what I am and understood already and reach out that. ऐसा हर एक व्यक्ति खुद ही जाते हैं जंगल में, कोई नहीं अकेला बैठे ध्यान, तभी उनको मिलता है अंदर का दैट प्रेशियस ज्वेल, नॉट अदरवाइज. So, along with our regular listening study, once in a while we have to pause and just think what exactly is happening in and around it spiritually and what is to happen, and for that, what is to be done. Everyone will have to think for oneself and become more and more clear day by day and keep on walking. The five, six things always remember that regular and sincere. If we want, we can be. And if we want to change, change, and we can be once in a while coming. And that never attracts the Guru Pambara Kurpa, the one who's are irregular, insincere. उनको भी लगता है विल नॉट ट्रबल देम सो लोग को छोड़ ही देते हैं हमको बट रेगुलर सिंसियर आवर चॉइस then the glory of Upanishadic Vidya understood, but same time it is very sublime. Then our gratitude towards the master should grow. Then observe how far we have reached. Very less. What's the reason? That inside our equipments are not fully prepared. Why? Because of some things which we have to leave but we are not living. Some things we have to take up but we are not taking up. What are they? Think. And drop and take up and see to it that the Antakarana is made as glorious, subtle, deep as those of the Rishis Munis. With that, now restart. Every day's class now should give us more and more rich treasure. We should understand it. The practicalities in that, if at all, we keep the practice to keep on doing those practices. And actually, the doubtless, vagueness, clarity in goal and means. And I am doing those means, and I've walked up to this path. Next is this one. This clarity, if it is there, then we are really lucky and great. That all is a result of Sattva Guna. Sattva comes when we do sattvic things. Bhagavata sattvikaneva seve tapuman artha siddhaye. Rajo tamo, if you do the seva, service of the rajo tamo only our antakarna becomes. So think finally. Should we continue like this? Should we even go back to the earlier life? Or should we make now everything is more beautiful by preparing ourselves through various required sacrifices, various required tapasyas, hardships, hard works. देख लो ये वाला आज का थोड़ा introduction. Now we have seen till yesterday 1 week solid we have spent in trying to understand the pranava upasana. Okay. So what is finally pranava upasana is whole Jagat is merged in pranava. Ourselves are in pranava. Omkara pranava के अलावा और कुछ नहीं है. That pranava should take us to the pranava for which it is a symbol called as Parabrahma as Anubhuti. So a pranava upasaka, his day starts with pranava. His entire day the Omkara only. Either the Ucharana Rupa Omkara he does, Pranama Rupa Omkara he does, understanding of the Om with its Uma Matras he goes on doing, or he understands that Om is the one from where the entire Shabdas came, in the Shabdas only all the Jnanam is there, or is in the contemplation is Om is that from where only all the Rupanamatmaka Jagat came, or Om is the Alambana Pratika Para and Avara Brahma. So in this mood all the time we are. Om should be our home and we should feel at home with Om. Prarthana is done to the Om. Alambana held is of that of Om. Om is fully believed to be the Brahma Tattva. Then requesting the Om only, reveal the Veda Sara, reveal the Brahmanubhuti. In that way, Nitya Nirantara Om is the one when one is totally involved in, he understood the Om Upasana, Pranava Upasana. There is nothing like half an hour morning, मैंने Om किया. After that, the next day तक Om मेरे साथ नहीं है. Then he did not understand what is meant by the Rishi here. Even in Swapna, Om alone. Idra Om. And why and how all that? Because Parabrahma is in the Om Rupa. Other than the Om and Parabrahma, Every Rupa Nama is Mithya, whether it is Jagrat, Swapna or Sushupti. And that Mithya is taken by me as real. And that's how I am in this samsara really suffering. I have to come out of it. For that, I am doing the Alamana of the Om. Om is such an Alamana and support and Upasana Madhyamam that everything from my mind I am wiping out by involving my mind always in Om. This Om's Upasana in this way, valuing Om alone all through, has such a tremendous effect of destroying or eliminating the Maya, which is in the form of the Rupanama, which is in the form of this gross subtle world, which is only Maya. There is nothing other than Parabrahma. But then, do we feel like that? Everything so real, so solid, so substantial, so inviting, so important, so what I say, tempting us to indulge in. देखो, Om Upasana will make the theory practical for us to realize that the world of names and forms, which is a creation of Maya, is not so real or important. Like for us, because of our consistency in the classes, with Shraddha, all other activities not so much important. पता चल रहा है हमको इम्पोर्टेंट दो तो इम्पोर्टेंट है whether it's a people, whether it's the things, whether it's an activities, except some very necessary things for the survival, all other things are understood to be not so important or valid, including my ego, including my own ambitions as an ego, as an individual, as a jiva, of achieving some monetary position, some status in the society. All of that are imaginary only. There's no pith in that. We have realized it to some extent, at least, by study of Brahma Vidya as well as observing others who have achieved all this. Yet their lives are empty. So we also even become Brahma, Indra, Chandra, become Raja, Maharaja, Prime Minister. Outside, you may laugh, giggle, and feel proud that you are respected, revered, and all. But inside, to khali khali hai. In the same way, with the Pranava Upasana, sincerely, regularly done, the the gross and subtle worlds of Rupa and Nama, which have possessed us with their importance, will be understood that they are not so real or important. This is a great milestone in spirituality. En route to the real self, the Brahma Tattva, one of the great milestone is to know that the world is not as real as it is appearing, as substantial as it is appearing. As it's not as important as it is so looks like. Important thing is to know the self. Everything else is secondary. This conviction the pranava gives us if you go on doing the upasana. So that pranava upasaka is always in pranava ucharana, in all is always in dissolving the entire world of names and forms in pranava, is always dissolving his own upadhis in the pranava, then taking pranava as parabrahma, waiting the pranava or parabrahma to reveal the Brahma Anubhuti in the heart. That's called pranava upasaka. Along with all the other intricate points. Which we said, the entire world is nothing but forms. Forms cannot without exist, cannot exist without names. All the names are sounds. All the sounds are Auma. Auma is Om. Om came from Amatra. Amatra is Parabrahma. All that knowledge should be reverberating all the time. Whenever we lose sight of Om or importance of Om reduces, go back to these understandings. Go back to the conviction that through the Om I want to reach Parabrahma and restart everything. That is the feeling of that eighth mantra. Om iti Brahma, Om iti idam sarvam, Om iti etad anukruti, hasmava, O shravaya, A shravanti. For him, his all vyavahara is Om yukta. All his duties are Om yukta. All his obligations are the Om yukta. Even all his upasana sadhanas are Om yukta. Om is very important to him. Entire vyavahara is pranavamayam. Then the pranava blesses to take us beyond. And it all will happen. Very subtly we can feel inside. Ki Om is fully overpowering everything, and I am into that Om alone. And that Om, in its quietness, slowly, is revealing to me the sublime truth. That will happen. So keep chanting this mantra again and again, and also listen to these 7 8 classes of last 10 days. 10 classes, though we have repeated some of them, but unless we listen again and again, it won't stay in the mana. Like we go to now the ninth Anuvaka in a day also, all eight Anuvaka is forgotten. Like the seventh, sixth, we forgot what was there. The Pankta Upasana, the Vyavrati Upasana, the Dharakasha Upasana, किधर याद है बोले तो याद होता. This is how the life is. भूल जाओ तो भूल जाता है. Regular practice करो तो याद रहता. Okay, now soaked in Pranava Upasana or Pranava, keeping Parabrahma as the goal, knowing that the study and contemplation means for that. One more thing we have to add is never ever neglect those things which have to be done, because it brings into our life this enough omission. Therefore, now in the ninth Anuvaka, in fact, after indicating to us the Pranava as the Upasana Alambana, which can take us to Parabrahma, and yet not to take anything for granted, in the ninth Anuvaka now, along with all what we have done earlier, along with our spiritual pursuit, the so-called non-spiritual worldly activities also we have to involve in to clear up all the debts and to be on the path. That's how the ninth Anuvaka, after so much of beautiful knowledge is given, now emphasizes about not to mistaken that without doing our due duties, just by totally being in spiritual, suddenly the spiritual growth happens. Spiritual growth is an evolution. In that path of evolution, as we saw many a times in different classes, that all the activities, all the dharma, slowly एक एक अपने आप छूटना चाहिए. हमें नहीं छोड़ना उनको जल्दबाजी में. Else the entire world gets misguided. That's how the so-called Vedantins, who under a guru who himself is not fully matured, listen to the Vedantic principles and they think that they are fit for everything and qualified, then they give up all their most important, beautiful, the life of the dharma in the world and go to the spiritual pursuit. They are not qualified. Therefore, neither the spiritual growth happens, nor because they are not involved in the world effectively, all those sins of omission, all the obligations continue binding him. Therefore, the very Upanishad which talk about Brahma Upapnamani iti, Brahmaiva Upapnoti, in the very next para, it starts talking about, beta, all this is theory hai. Practical starts from where you are in your present day-to-day activities. You are in the world and world is in you. From there only the sadhana should start. And these are the anuvakas, especially for those most loving, decent, wonderful, beautiful, great grahastha sadhakas. Sannyasis, they gave up everything, so there are only inner problems for him, not outer obligations, etc. He is that way well placed, means luckily placed, which is very rare, which is very difficult, and very useful if he is serious, sincere. But what about the grahasthas? They can't just give up everything. At the same time, they can't be without doing sadhana. Then how to balance both? That maturity, the conviction for that is given in this Navama Anuvak. And mind you, in the Rishimuni Kala, also not everybody is sannyasi. And sannyasi is always the inner attitude. Everyone will have to be sannyasi inside while performing outer duties obligatorily and not compromising with their spiritual sadhana. देखो, साधना के नाम पे ये छोड़ दो तो ये भी गड़बड़ है. आप साधना ही नहीं किया, इसी में फंसे हैं तो वो भी गड़बड़ है. Understand the completeness of the life completely. It is striking the balance between both of them so beautifully, delicately, that slowly what has to happen should happen without struggle. That our life is shifted from the pravritti into the nivritti. But straight away, because we are inspired for the words of meditation, going to the jungle or ashrama, without inner clarification or inner purification, as a jakarna, we create tension there. And the most important what is thought is what? Without clearing all our debts and obligations. Remember, what is called technical in Shastra is we incur the sin of omission. Means not doing what we are supposed to do. And that sin of omission will never give us permission to go into the deeper understandings of Shastra. Will never allow us to sit on the seat of meditation. When we don't sit in the seat of, how will we experience the self? That's why many people so true, so serious, so sincere in their attempts of studying Shastra, understanding, meditating, yet nothing happens. Why? Because they have many things to do in the world which they have not done. याद रख लेना इस बात को. The sin of omission will haunt us. Therefore, we cannot just give up anything and everything of the world. Even the Lord Guru also sees to that he is not revealed the truth till he clears all the obligation. He clears up all the debts that are there. Every one of us have come with lot of runa. We have to clear them. Without that, the आगे वाला visa passport sanction ये नहीं होता. Therefore, just because some Upanishads we heard, just because we are fascinated by the meditation or the Brahma Tattva, don't think that it will just happen like that. It never happened to anyone. That's so in the Navama Anuvaka, both the things. The Swadhyaya Pravachana's weightage is fully given and all other things. दोनों को कट्टे करते जाना. Thus blossom properly. Outside also wonderful, inside also. Together, the balancing of our obligatory duties and our evolutionary spiritual sadhanas. Both of them should go hand in hand. This is what the beauty of our Vedic culture. And don't get imagination that सब जा करके संन्यास लेकर साधना करके परमात्मा को जानने का ही हमारे वेद वेदांत उपदेश करता है. No, it was not like that. Krishna taught Arjuna tattva and yet he told fight the war. That's the immediate duty. All the Upanishadic rishis, they were not lazy. They were all scientists, they were all doctors, they were all poets. Every of the worldly activities they were involved in fully well without compromising with their sadhana. They were balancing both. See, the growing out of worldliness is different from running away or escaping from the worldliness. We have to grow out of it. We should not run out of it. We should run away. We should not be escaping from that. Sin of omission, yaad rakhna. Sin of commission is doing what is not to be done. Many a time that can be avoided, we can understand it's not correct, therefore I leave. But the other aspect is never understood by it. That sin of the omission means we are omitting what we are to do. Like you have elderly parents to take care of. No, you cannot avoid that work. It will be sin of omission. Your children are coming up. They have to be settled. All that will be told in this mantra now. If that is not done, then the thala will not be opened for you for the spiritual unfoldment. They are all very sublime things. Like for me, to give satsanga, and that type of obligation is there. Till that is over through saturation or maturity, Bhagavan will not open the door for me also, for everyone. याद रख लेना. With this maturity, with the background of Upanishad Jnana and the goal indicated there, we have to work day in and day out and allow it to happen. Is it not? We have to allow the plant to grow, allow the flower to blossom, allow the fruit to get ripened. We cannot force ourselves on that. We cannot impose our thing on that and try to forcefully open it. Oh, ऐसा नहीं होता. If you understand it, then you will be sufficiently patient enough without compromising with what sadhana to do. Patient enough to do. And to tell the paradox of this, Puja Gurudev uses a beautiful idiom, and on that he writes a book also. The book's name is Hasten Slowly. See? Hasten slowly. They are opposite words. Hasty. Hastening means going fast. Slow means slow. Hasten is our inner desire to know the truth. Slowly is while performing what we have to do outside. In this way, as regard the goal is concerned, its urgency concerned, you are not compromising. As urgently as possible, you want to know. Same time, that urgency is not restlessness. The urgency doesn't make us compromise with what we have to do immediately around. That's what Lord Gurudev slowly. See the balance between them. See, the life is balance of all. You have to manage your Dehindriya Mano Buddhi Adi. There's no way. You have to manage all the near and dear people. There's no way. You have to take part in the world also to the extent it is required. There's no way. At the same time, the Guru Upasana, Daiva Upasana, that also you can't leave. And then from the Guru, listening to Shastra, that also is important part. Then doing contemplation of the Shastra. देखो सब मिलकर जिंदगी होता है, सब मिलकर आराम से हमें समझकर उस गंभीरता से ये हर चीज करते जाना. That's called the true real growth. Then in such person's life, guilts or regrets or feelings that मैंने ये नहीं किया वो नहीं किया, they won't be there. That is a true real growth. Beautiful it is. Therefore, this Navama Anuvaka tells us, the Grahastha sadhakas mainly to balance between both the obligations as well as sadhana. For the sake of obligation, don't sacrifice sadhana. For the sake of sadhana, don't sacrifice. Then give equal importance to them, due importance to them. And in course of life's evolution, some of the things get dropped automatically. Then you involve more and more in spirituality. In this way, let that transition happen smoothly, not in a zabardasti manner. नहीं तो क्या होगा? After few years of spirituality, then you look back and say, यार मुझे ये करना था, वो करना था, ये indulge करना था, ये enjoy करना था. All those things that time you remember, and then you try involving in them. It looks very awkward, is it not? If systematically done from the beginning, perfectly. Like any building is constructed, step by step they do. There's no hurry. अरे सीधा दीवार खड़ा करो, दीवार लास्ट में खड़ा करते हैं. पहले पिलर बनाए, छत बनाया. They have a process. They're so intelligent. They know it. In the same way, in our life also, neither be too lazy and complacent regarding spiritual sadhana, even though gurus are teaching, nor like some of us are, even now at this age, fully, totally indulgent in the world. Some are negligent. दोनों करेक्ट नहीं है, क्योंकि ना हर एक एक्शन व्हाट वी डू हैज इट्स ओन रिएक्शन. And we are spiritual people, we have to be very careful. And har ek non-action which we are to supposed to also have its own reaction. हर एक non-action which we are supposed to do, जो करने वाला काम नहीं किया उसका भी असर होता है. That's what I said as enough omission. So knowing all that, carefully we have to grow. Keeping intact the goal inside, outside we must know where we stand, what is expected out of us, let us do it. Like Gurudev. Society needs patriotism, where he has discussed on that also. He never said give up everything and become Brahmagnani, though that is the ultimate goal. Is it not? You can see his life and you can see the balancing between both. He established schools, he established colleges. Actually, इसकी तो जरूरत थोड़ी है. He has established ashram, that should be enough. But schools go, why? That's the need of the hour where through the academics, while academics are given, this also if introduced, children can be having those beautiful seeds. And all those children, thousands of them who study in schools, later on, if not immediately, after 30, 40 years, those seeds will sprout. That's so. Because everyone will have to go through their prarabdha in course of evolution, and it has happened, that time only it will happen. Now we have thoroughly concluded, studied our Ashtamanvaka of Pranavapasana. Let us see the introductory bhashya of the Navama Anuvaka by Bhagavan Shankara. Then we do the Parayanam chanting of it. Then we start studying it as told by Bhagavan in the bhashya. And I believe in the context of our today's world, in the context of our evolution, in the context of the study of this Upanishad, this particular Anuvaka is to be more theoretically pakka understood, more practically to be done. सिद्धांत दृष्टि से भी साधना के दृष्टि से भी ये 9th अनुवाक बहुत 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 important, very very important, can never neglect. And what is said in that? Balance between our duties, obligations, as well as the real duty of Adhyatmic sadhana. What it is, let us say. First introduction, then the chanting. Atha navamonuvaakaha. Iti ashtamonuvaakaha, atha navamonuvaakaha. Avatarika. See the Bhashyam. I am reading, not much. Only 3-4 lines. What he says? Vijnanat eva apnoti swarajyam. Iti uktatvat shrauta smartanam karmanam anarthakyam praptam. Iti ataha tat ma prapat. Iti कर्मणाम पुरुषार्थम प्रति साधनत्व प्रदर्शनार्थम इह उपन्यासः. So simple but so complete, so wonderful. So when we were studying all the other earlier 8 anuvakas, in that the upasanas were being studied, then vijnanat means here vijnana means upasana. So vijnanat eva swarajyam apnoti. Only through the upasana to the Hiranyagarbha that we get the Swarajyam. Apnoti Swarajyam, Apnoti Manasaspatim. When this is heard, our mind feels the tendency that therefore, let me through the upasana of the, what do you call it, the Mahatattva Hiranyagarbha, get the Swarajya. That type of thought comes. That's obvious. Like anybody talking anything little importantly, our mind listens to that and finds the importance for that and tends to go for it. That is the power of advertisement. And the weakness of the uninformed or less informed or non-matured minds. The informed and matured minds know what is to be done to be achieved. They won't get disturbed by anyone. Like you and I know the importance of classes. We know that we have the maturity. Those who have, I can't trust everyone. Those who have, then nobody can trouble them. Nothing can disturb their importance given to the Shastra. But the other people, any obligation, anything comes, they just get carried away. I'm giving that example for the point here. In the same way, again and again when the upasana is taught in every of the anuvaka, हमको लगता है कि through that upasana we can reach out. Forget the other aspect that where do we stand? What the world is expecting out of us. What therefore we are supposed to do to the world for relinquishing our duties, for our clearing of all the debts. हमें भूल जाते. That is a very, and we don't even recognize that also it is happening. Like we get some thought fixation in our mind because of our funny nature. And that thought fixation we do practice. And we can never understand consequentially in how many ways we are losing. वो maturity होता नहीं सबको. And those who are totally dedicated to the Guru and surrendered, Guru all the time is in that person guiding. बेटा ये thinking गलत है, ये decision गलत है, ये action गलत है, इसको ठीक करो. Like that Guru suggests, if that person is surrendered. If not, somebody gets fixed in their own thought. It may be good also, but it has many other consequences, creating lot of losses. हमको ये समझ में नहीं आता. Here also he says, Vijnanadeva apnoti swarajyam iti uktatvat. When this is spoken right from the third Anuvaka onwards, is it not? अतात संहिताया उपनिषदं व्याख्यास्यामः पंचसु अधिकरणेषु. All the time attention is on here. Vijnanam is upasana. When this is said, then what about the karma which is given by the Shastra as an obligation to the Grahastha, to the Varnashrama Dharmi, to a person positioned in one particular position? वो सब ऐसे पानी फेर दोगे क्या आप? What will happen? Consequently, the negative thing is what? Shrauta smartanam karmanam anarthakyam praptam. All the Shrauta and Smarta karmas appear to be not required at all, because given importance to Upasana more and more. And as it is said, if this Shrauta Smarta karma is not done, like everyone that way studies Upanishad and studies the Upasana Prakriya, and they are always involved in that only, then who will work for the world? Who will create the things for the people? Who will manage the children? Who will manage the wife or elders, etc.? भाई ये भी important है. And some of you really, is it not? If you are able to balance matured way, then you finish your obligation, come to the class. नहीं तो नहीं नहीं स्वामी जी ये कहेंगे वो करके come to the class, but your sick parents or parents-in-law are suffering there. Their hunger, their medicine, you are not taking care. No, it is a sin. It is a smarta karma to take care of the elders at home. Even the children unwell or they have their exams. अबे ये सब छोड़कर how can you come to sit in the class? You understood? Because the overpowering misguidance in the mind about the importance of this at the cost of that. It is important, but right now, along with it, that also is important in your life. You are stationed there, you are positioned there. When that you grow out of through fulfillment, there will be a day coming where nobody will trouble you, nobody bothers you, you have nobody to answer or help. At that time, you can fully involve, but not before clearing all that. So the Shrauta karma and Smartha karma, if they are avoided, not done, one, the Antakarna Shuddhi will not happen. Second, the sin of omission will be there. That sin of omission is so sublime thing, you can never see that, but it will continuously work. In what way? Never allows you to steadily do your so-called the spiritual upasanas or sadhanas. वो कैसा जादू करेगा हमको नहीं पता, लेकिन वो आगे जाने ही नहीं देगा, पकड़ के खींचेगा पीछे. And that's, if you finish the duties and go, nobody will stop, you can enter. It's like स्टोव में पतीले में चाय वाय लगा के आप मेडिटेशन में बैठे हो. Will you be able to doing that meditation? You can't, because the stove, the gas, in everything in the mind. On the other hand, take 5 minutes, दूध गर्म करके then बंद करके आकर बैठो. There is no sin of omission. Clear? In the same way, Shrauta Smarta Karmanam Anarthakyam Praptam. Suddenly people think that the Shruti Ukta Yagnayagadi, Smriti Ukta, the social management आदि कर्म not necessary. हम ऐसे कहीं जाके एक मूर्ति को लगाकर उपासना करके we can reach out Paramatma. In that mood we enter, wherein according to the stage of our life we have still lot more to perform here. Neglecting wife or neglecting husband or children or in-laws or friends and relatives or the naukari. Spirituality is an evolution, it is not running away, it is not escapism. It is not that way misunderstanding. That's the glory of our Shastras and Sanatana Dharma. They're not only teaching Nivritti, Nivritti, Nivritti. Strike the balance between both. We have to grow properly in our life steadily. Not कि एक पार्ट ग्रो हो रहा है दूसरा सड़ रहा है, ऐसा नहीं होता. सो विज्ञानात् एव आप्नोति स्वराज्यम् इति उक्तत्वात् श्रौतस्मार्तानां कर्मणां अनर्थक्यं प्राप्तम्. That's the most dangerous thing. Then everybody stops doing what they are supposed to do. Big chaos will be there in the world. And there are some religions like that. I don't know how to name them. They just stick to their own whatever upasanas and contribute zero to the society or the nation. The big burden, our India shelters all those useless fellows. Just imagine all these people. Hundreds and thousands of them came as Sharanagatis. We gave them Sharana. And where are they participating in the society? And the Indian government gives, because they are refugees, everything subsidy. And we are working hard here and they are given subsidy. एक दिन दो दिन नहीं, पिछले 100 साल से चल रहा है, 50 साल से चल रहा है, which is not a healthy sign. And it has become a right to them that they don't actively participate in helping the world. And you don't see them anywhere participating in the nation. वोटिंग में पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करते हैं, गवर्नमेंटल एक्टिविटीज में पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करते हैं. Nothing they do. And they are a burden only, no? Just you are eating away the wealth of the nation, doing nothing. And those religions, they misguide them like that. तुम्हें कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं, भगवान का नाम ले, वो सब हो जाता है. ऐसा कैसे होता है वो? भगवान इज नॉट ए स्लेव फॉर अस दैट वे. इमेजिन दैट मैं उनका नाम लेता हूँ, वो सब मेरा संवार के रखते हैं. That Ananya Shinten is a very rare case. It is very senior most स्थिति जो पहुंच गया उनके लिए, not for the common masses, you and I. What is applicable for the exclusive cases cannot be applied for the general cases, no? जनरल जो लोग हैं उनको कंट्रीब्यूट करना पड़ता है सोसाइटी में. Not that everybody goes into that निवृत्ति मार्ग. You can see in so many places. आप धर्मशाला उस एरिया में जाओ, बिहार में वगैरह, लाखों में लोग कुछ नहीं करते फॉर द नेशन. They do only their selfish activities for their own survival and on the name of upasana, and we support them with all subsidies and all. In India, these type of so many nonsenses are the main cause because of which the cost of living is more. All these type of permission, reservation, everywhere, you have to be ruthless sometime. The amounts of pensions given, the retirement benefits are given, the concessions are given, the tax relaxations are given. तो उनका टैक्स माफ करना है तो इसको टैक्स डबल लगाना पड़ता है. Is it? You have to be honest, like in the army and all. Crorepati, still they go take all the subsidies. In other department, in center, in government में सब कुछ है उनके पास, फिर भी here also these people not contributing. No. Please remember, our spirituality should never disturb the peace, smoothness of the world. That will happen when we become excess here and when we don't do the duties there. Smoothly दोनों को बैलेंस करते हुए जाना. And one, like that, when we live for many, many lives, all obligations, everything are reduced, then we can say that we are free now, we can go for our exclusive meditation. नहीं तो क्या होगा, इस श्रौत स्मार्त कर्तों को जो भगवान ने दिया, जो वेदोक्त है, वो हम छोड़ देंगे, जिससे बहुत प्रॉब्लम होगा. नहीं, everybody becomes sannyasi, then every country will attack us. Every nonsense will attack us. Is it not? हो ही नहीं सकता हो. Sannyasi is different, a very, very, very rare. And sannyasi, Jagat Samsari, is more active and dynamic in inspiring people. That's why you see all our avatars. They did not come to eat and sleep on the name of spirituality. They vigorously acted. Dynamically, they performed. They involved in the world. That's the main meaning. Just because we are studying Upanishad Vedanta, don't imagine that we have right to give up everything and go for it. At the same time, don't get caught up in the world like the others are doing, that we are not able to spare time for our equipping our intellect with the Swadhyaya Pravachana, the goal of the life. ये भी नहीं छोड़ना, वो भी नहीं छोड़ना. So मैं क्या छोड़ूं फिर? मेरे को छोड़ो. Only give up laziness, give up wastage of time and energies. So Shrauta Smarta Karma Smartanam Karmanam Anarthakyam Praptam iti ataha tat ma prapatu. It should never be that way misunderstood. ऐसा लोगों को नहीं लगना चाहिए कि कोई दुनिया में है नहीं, असत्य है, मिथ्या है, कुछ नहीं करना है इधर. It will create chaos in the world. That's what in Gita, nabuddhivedam janayad ajnanam karma sanginam joshayet sarva karmani vidwan yukta samacharan. The Vidwan should not disturb the person who is involving in karma. He should encourage them by himself performing. Only thing is give the direction, change the attitude so that the karma instead of becoming bhoga, roga should become a yoga. बुद्धिभेद नहीं करना. कुर्वन्नेवेह कर्माणि जिजीविषेत्सतकं समाह. We have to be very delicate, very careful. गड़बड़ हो जाएगा नहीं तो पूरा. तद माँ पद ऐसा ना हो जाए कि लोग अपना श्रौत स्मार्त कर्मों को छोड़ रहे. श्रौत कर्म इज श्रुति उक्त यज्ञ यागादि. स्मार्त स्मृति उक्त social obligations, all of that. The constitutional duties, the family duties, the social duties, the professional duties, all of them are the smarta karma. It's not smarta, smarta. Shrauta is the Agnyas. In that, Nitya Agnihotra, all of them come in the Shrauta. Ma bhutu ma prapat iti, now listen carefully, next sentence, karmanam purushartham prati sadhanatva pradarsanartham iha upanyasaha. कर्मों का करना मोक्ष पुरुषार्थ के लिए इंटरमीडिएट साधना है, ये समझाने के लिए दिस अनुवाक. Thus, through doing all of them, only the vairagya, the antakarana shuddhi, the sense of fulfillment that what I have to do, it comes. Then only we can go for dhyanam sadhana. And in this, a dozen of the things are told, which we have to pursue along with our spiritual studies and meditations. And both are complementary to each other. At the same time, both are exclusive. What the complementation? Through the outer work and the antakarana shuddhi is there, then only we will be able to do sadhana. And from this side, when we are trying to do sadhana, at that time only we know where we are going wrong, therefore we can correct it. And the exclusiveness is of what is the what? When we are in the world, fully involved in the world of activity. When we are in sadhana, just forget the world and attentively listen. Or do the sadhana. Complementation, exclusiveness, both. Therefore, never ever the Shrauta Smarta karma should be given up, else the sin of omission, याद रखना. The pratyavaya dosha, जो करना ही नहीं करना. Like Arjuna, sin of omission he was going to do by escaping from the war. भगवान से ये प्रत्यवाय दोष हो जाएगा, बेटा करना ही पड़ेगा तुमको. You are a kshatriya, you are expected to do that. So therefore, in this Anuvaka, even though it is an Upanishadic literature which talks about the Nivrutti and meditation and Parabrahma, yet that's what the uniqueness of the Taittiriyam, right from beginning we are saying. Every Upanishad talks of Brahma Vidya. Taittiriya also talks of Brahma Vidya. All Upanishads straight away talk because the student comes is qualified. But Taittiriya Upanishad makes us qualified and gives us Brahma Vidya. That's why it is complete. And in making us qualified, all the things that have to be done right from beginning, study Sanskrit, Sanri, Bhasha, शिक्षा में आख्यास्यामः वहाँ से शुरू करा के it taught us all the upasanas. Now along with upasana, before entering to meditation, to ensure that we are qualified, clear up all the obligations, clear up all the debts through performing Shrauta and Smarta Karma. Beautiful topic it is. Iti Purusharth Karmanam. Karmanam means Shrauta Smarta Karmanam. Purushartham Prati Sadhanatva Pradarsanartham Iho Upanyasa. For the Moksha Purushartha, intermediate sadhana is the performance of the Shrauta Smarta Karma to teach us that, to tell us, to make us aware of it, this next Anuvaka. Means the students are in the class, Bhagavan is teaching Upasana, Guru Maharaj, Brahma Vidya. Then people think that हम बस ध्यान ही करेंगे परमात्मा को जानने का कोशिश, we need not do anything. No, everybody is not qualified for that, though the thought is noble. Among the 100 students they are there, 90 of them, parents are expecting them to come back and serve, to take the profession ahead, to balance the family, to support it. अब ये बंदे सब जो भी गुरु के पास गए, सन्यासी बन गए, तो गड़बड़ हो जाएगा. You know that Narada and Daksha was creating people, Narada was making them sannyas. He became angry and said, I'm cursing you, you will not stay at one place. In that case, in that context, Narada says thank you and he continues doing it well. But the Prajapati Daksha ka kaam kya hai? Praja ko continue karana. But he is abstracting it. Then he gave a shapa to him and then his putra, now he got the 60 daughters. Then, you remember those? Those are the 10,000 and then 1,000 of the, what are they are called? Prajapati's children. Ariyashva and Dashasva, some name is there. So here also, Guru is very matured and conscious. He says, beta, whether you stay with me or whether you go back home, don't get intoxicant in this feeling that sab chodkar sadhana karne se sadhana hota hai. No. It's a slow, steady evolution. You have to achieve it while going through all the routine which you have to go through of this Shrauta Smarta Karma. And I tell you, such a powerful, perfect, wonderful is our Indian Sanatana literature, in that every Upanishad, in that particularly this Upanishad, and in this particular context. Okay, tomorrow we'll see it. Let us chant the mantra now. फिर कल पूरा exhaustively बताएंगे, and the left to us. How deeply we understand, get convinced, and start practicing. What is that? Atha ekadashonuvaakaha om ऋतं च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च सत्यं च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च तपश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च दमश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च शमश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च अग्नयश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च अग्निहोत्रं च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च प्रजा च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च प्रजनश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च प्रजातिश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च सत्यमिति सत्यवचाराथेतरः तपैति तपो नित्यः पौरुषिष्ठिः स्वाध्याय प्रवचने एवेति नाको मौद्गल्यः तद्धि तपस्तद्धि तपः. Beautiful mantra. We'll spend a day or two to thoroughly understand. Om 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 Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Paramarishibhyo Namaha Parabrahmane Namaha Shrutimatre Namaha Vedavyasa Vaishampayana याज्ञवल्क्य आद्य शंकराचार्य मर्यादि गुरुभ्यो नमः अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः. ओम तत्सत्. Brahmarpanamastu. Thank you, friends. Let us study for some time our Viduraniti also.